Today we are going to study the topic theory of gravimetric analysis. This topic is included in paper number 12, that is analytical chemistry. The practical aspect of this topic we have already covered last year. We have carried out two practicals in this regard, that is gravimetric estimation of barium as barium sulfate and gravimetric estimation of iron as ferric oxide. We were unaware of the theoretical aspects which are there while carrying out such type of analysis. So we are going to study some theoretical aspects, that is what are the techniques which are adopted during the gravimetric analysis. In this analysis we are going to study some points, those are shown here. In this regard I am going to cover these points, that is what are the principles and the steps which are involved in gravimetric analysis, and what is the purity of precipitate with regard to co-precipitation and post-precipitation. If we see the introductory part of this gravimetric analysis, then we know that analytical chemistry is basically concerned with the qualitative and quantitative analysis type of techniques. We're aware that whenever we measure the weight and volume of the substance under analysis, such type of technique where we are concerned with the weight and volume, this analysis is known as a quantitative analysis type of technique, where we are concerned with the quantity of the analyte or quantity of the unknown substance under analysis. Gravimetric analysis is also included under the quantitative analysis technique, where the technique will not complete without weighing the substance, because the gravimetric analysis type of technique where we are using the weight of the analyte under analysis. So because we measure the quantity, that is the weight of the unknown substance, and hence gravimetric analysis is grouped under quantitative analysis type of technique. If we see the types of gravimetric analysis, then gravimetric analysis is classified mainly into two types. First is a precipitation, certain analysis technique where precipitation techniques are used, and certain techniques where gravimetric analysis involves the volatilization. For example, if we want to analyze calcium, then the suitable precipitating reagent for this analysis is oxalic acid. When oxalic acid is added to the solution of calcium ions, then calcium oxalate gets precipitated. A white colored precipitate of calcium oxalate that is obtained. This precipitate is further filtered, washed and dried, and after drying, the ignition is carried out and the weight of calcium thus obtained can be calculated. So this technique where we are using the precipitate. Second technique where the volatilization can be carried out. That means certain compounds which are having water or other impurities in the form of volatile substances, the weight of the analyte can be calculated just by calculating the water or the vapor that is present in the compound. That is, the weight of water evolved can be measured, and from this quantity one can determine the analyte. Now, how to proceed further with the successful determination in gravimetric type of analysis? Because the analysis itself that is used worldwide because it is more accurate. For successful analysis of gravimetric analysis, we have to bear into mind four important points. The first, that the cation or the ion under analysis or the substance to be estimated during gravimetric analysis should be completely precipitated. This is the first step. Secondly, the precipitate thus obtained should be having a known composition, without which, so the precipitate thus obtained should have a known composition. Third point for successful determination of gravimetric analysis is that the product thus obtained should be in an easily filterable form. And fourth, that it should be easy to handle. That means for the precipitate is to be filtered, and the washing, drying, and all other steps which are involved in gravimetric analysis, those should be easy in handling. And one more point I would like to mention here, that the substance thus obtained should be carefully weighed and to obtain the desired weight of the analyte. Now, what are the advantages of gravimetric analysis? There are some three advantages of this gravimetric analysis. First advantage is that this The advantages of this gravimetric analysis is that it is accurate and precise. That means it leads to conclusive results which are having more accuracy, and the precise results are obtained. Secondly, this analysis is the absolute method. That means this analysis is a complete analysis where we can rely upon the consistency of results. And one more advantage of this process is that it is a less expensive, and hence it is widely used. There are certain disadvantages of this gravimetric analysis, that if proper laboratory techniques are not followed, then the clear and conclusive results may not be obtained. Secondly, the careful, and one should be careful while carrying out such technique, and the technique is time consuming. That means around 8 to 10 hours are required for one analysis. The glasswares which are used during this analysis must be thoroughly cleaned. The weighing should be very much accurate, and while carrying out gravimetric analysis, the co-precipitation should be avoided. There are certain properties which are associated with the precipitate. That is, the first very important property of the precipitate is that the precipitate thus obtained is insoluble in its mother liquor. Secondly, it should be easily separated from its mother liquor. Third, the precipitate should be stable to atmospheric condition. That means when the precipitate is obtained, when it is exposed to atmosphere, it should not form any complexes with atmospheric action. The precipitate must be convertible to pure compound, and it should be free from. Now, the particle size and filterability of precipitates. This is also one of the most important feature of this technique. That is, the precipitates which are made up of large size particles are generally desirable in gravimetric analysis, because after the formation of a precipitate, the precipitate is to be filtered, and hence the particle size matters. We know that there are three different types of precipitates. One is a crystalline precipitate, for example, barium sulfate, thirdly precipitate, and third is a gelatinous precipitate, for example, aluminum hydroxide, which belongs to third A group. Now, how the process of precipitation that is carried out? There are three important steps involved in the process of precipitation. First step is a supersaturation. Second step is a nucleation, and third is a crystal growth. The first step that is known as supersaturation, as we know that the solution under analysis, which is very much dilute, to this solution, if a precipitating reagent that is added, because of addition of the precipitating reagent, the solution becomes supersaturated. After this, the second step follows is a nucleation. When the precipitating agent is added to the solution, then first of all, the desired ion from the solution and the ion from the precipitating agent, they combine to form the crystal nuclei. Very few crystal nuclei are formed initially. And third step, after the formation of nuclei of the desired product, the crystal growth begins. That means in nucleation, for example, barium solution is there. If to this solution, if sulfuric acid, if it is added, then barium sulfate precipitate is formed. That means the crystal nuclei of barium sulfate, those are formed, and further addition of precipitating reagent that increases the crystal growth of this barium sulfate precipitate particles. Now, the precipitation process that is named as von Neumann equation. He suggested that the ratio of Q minus S divided by S, where Q stands for the concentration of the reagents, S stands for the solubility. So here this ratio should be lower. Lower the ratio of this von Neumann equation, greater is the possibility of precipitation. That means quantitative precipitation is obtained when this ratio is lower. Now, how the precipitate is formed, just now I have mentioned that first of all, the nucleation process begins, which is followed by particle growth. That means crystals of precipitate, they grow in size and they form a stable product, that is a solid product. Just now I have mentioned that crystalline precipitates, for example, barium sulfate is a crystalline precipitate. These crystalline precipitates are having a greater particle size, and because of which we can easily filter such crystalline precipitates. After the formation of such precipitates, the next step begins in gravimetric analysis is a digestion of the process, digestion of the precipitate. In digestion of the precipitate, normally the precipitate is kept in contact with the mother liquor for about 30 to 60 minutes in hot condition. After completion of digestion, that means when the supernatant liquid becomes clear, at this stage we suppose that the digestion has been completed. This is also known as Ostwald's ripening process, where the precipitate is kept in contact with the mother liquor for a very long period of time. After the completion of digestion, we suppose that this precipitate is now easy to filtrate. That means it is obtained in a filtrable form. Now, during gravimetric analysis, the purity of precipitate, that also matters, because if impurities that gets mixed with the precipitate, then the results may go wrong, and hence in order to have accuracy of results, purity of precipitate, that is very important. When the precipitate is separated from the solution, it is always not preferably pure, and it may be contaminated even after washing. So when we wash the precipitate, the impurities which are associated with the precipitate, those are washed away. For washing the precipitate and to remove these impurities which are associated with the precipitate, normally hot water or the solution of weak electrolyte, say for example ammonium nitrate, or sometimes weak solution of acetic acid may also be used. The precipitate thus obtained is having certain impurities. The amount of impurities depends upon the nature of precipitate and the condition of precipitation. It may be due to the co-precipitation. Co-precipitation means after the formation of main precipitate, the impurities get precipitated. Those are also known as a co-precipitation. Post-precipitation means again this is also somewhat a type of co-precipitation where after complete formation of precipitate, the other impurities, those also gets precipitated after the formation of main precipitate is known as a post-precipitation. Occlusion is nothing but the inclusion of foreign particles with precipitate. This also reduces the purity of the precipitate. Now, just now I have mentioned that co-precipitation is the phenomenon in which soluble compounds are removed from the solution during the precipitate formation. Now, what is this occlusion and mechanical entrapment? When a crystal is growing during the precipitation, the foreign ions which are present in the solution, those also gets mixed with the main precipitate or those are trapped in the precipitate, and hence such process where the foreign ions get trapped along with the main precipitate is known as occlusion of the precipitate. We have seen how the techniques which are used in having the pure form of precipitate. Now, there are certain steps which are to be followed in gravimetric analysis. The first step in gravimetric analysis is a preparation of the solution. A dilute solution of the analyte is prepared of a known volume. Second step, which is very important, is known as a precipitation. For the desired ion, a particular precipitating agent is used. For example, for barium analysis, sulfuric acid is used. For iron analysis, 1:1 ammonia is used. For nickel gravimetric analysis, solution of 1% alcoholic solution of dimethylglycine is used. For estimation of aluminium, 8-hydroxyquinoline that may be used. After the formation of a main precipitate, digestion is carried out. That is, just now I have mentioned, this process is known as a Ostwald's ripening. That means in this process, the precipitate is brought into easily filtrable form. After completion of the digestion, where the precipitate is kept for a very long period of time in contact with the mother liquor, the supernatant liquid becomes clear and the heavier precipitate particles, those settle down at the bottom. At this stage, digestion has been completed. At this stage, the first step is followed in practice is known as a filtration. Then after filtration, washing is carried out. Washing of the precipitate is also very important so as to remove certain impurities which are associated with the main precipitate. After washing completion, next step follows is a drying and ignition. Then seventh step is a weighing of the product, and by using a gravimetric factor, we can calculate the quantity of the reacting substances under analysis. Now, the precipitation process after the preparation of the solution, the precipitation process begins. The precipitating reagent that plays a very important role. So here the concentration favors the formation of good precipitate. So whatever quantity of the precipitate that is obtained at the end, that depends upon this step, that is a formation. Now, for selecting a particular good precipitate reagent, we have to consider the cation under analysis. Just now I mentioned for barium, it is barium sulfate. For iron, it is 1:1 ammonia. For nickel, 1% alcoholic solution is used. This may require a low concentration and extensive heating. That means the precipitation should be carried out only in hot condition, which ensures complete and quantitative precipitation. According to gravimetric analysis technique, the precipitating agent that is to be added in excess because the inadequate addition of the precipitating reagent may leads to wrong results. So to have complete precipitation, large excess amount of precipitating reagent is to be added. We have to test whether the precipitation has been complete or not. In order to test this, we have to again add few drops of precipitating reagent to the supernatant liquid of the solution. If no new precipitation occurs, this indicates that complete precipitation has occurred. Now, the digestion of precipitate. I have mentioned this step earlier also, where the precipitate is kept in contact with the mother liquor for a very long period of time in hot condition. So the heavier particles of the precipitate, they become heavy and they settle down at the bottom. So the digestion makes larger crystals, reduce surface contamination, and they also reduce the crystal imperfection. The first step is a filtration. In addition to the precipitation, digestion, the filtration step is also very important. This step separates the mother liquor from the main precipitate, that is main solid precipitate. So here the precipitate is separated from its mother liquor. Now there are certain filtration media may be used so as to separate the precipitate from its mother liquor. If barium gravimetric analysis is to be carried out, then Whatman filter paper number 41 is used, which is having a fast rate of filtration. For medium rate of filtration, Whatman filter paper number 40. So different types of filter papers are used depending upon the particle size and rate of filtration. There are other certain filtering media may be used, which are known as a gauge crucibles, which may be used for the gravimetric estimation of lead, manganese, etc. These gauge crucibles are having their numbers G1, G2, G3, and G4, depending upon the particle size of the filtrate and precipitate. The sintered glass crucibles are used to filter the precipitates. The crucibles first clean thoroughly by using organic liquids such as acetone or alcohol, and those are previously weighed, and the solution which contains the precipitate that is poured, and this particular gauge crucible is mounted on a conical flask which is having a tap opening for a suction pump, where we can filter this use by using a suction pump. Now, the washing of precipitate, that also plays a very important role in gravimetric estimation, because whatever impurities are there, those impurities are to be washed. The washing solution may be hot water, light weak electrolyte solution may also be used sometimes in order to remove the impurities which are associated with the main precipitate. After washing of the precipitate by suitable agent, the drying and ignition can be carried out. The filter paper or the gauge crucibles which contains the main precipitate, these are to be dried in electrical oven, and the temperature should be maintained in between 100 to 120 degrees centigrade, and here at this temperature range the precipitate thus obtained remains stable. So after drying, the ignition step is carried out, where the ignition is carried out either by using a crucible heater, what we call as an ignition unit, or by using muffle furnace. Sometimes in the early days, the ignition is carried out manually, that is by keeping the crucible on tripod stand, and the filter paper is incinerated by using a Bunsen burner, where the Whatman filter paper which is there in the crucible, which is also known as a ashless filter paper, which leaves no ash. So such type of techniques are used for the ignition. Now after ignition has been completed, the final product is to be weighed on a suitable balance. So the weighing of the product, that is also very important, because if accurate weighing does not carried out during this analysis, then the results may go wrong. So weighing also is of very important in gravimetric analysis. So here I have completed the topic that is known as the theory of gravimetric analysis, where we have to carry out the steps which are involved in this gravimetric analysis type of techniques. So by using this gravimetric analysis technique, which is a more superior method under quantitative analysis type of technique, where the method itself is a less expensive, but the only disadvantage of this process of this analysis is that this particular analysis uh, requires a large amount of time. That means about around 8 to 10 hours are required, and hence the technique requires much more patience. So here I would like to conclude with these remarks.